Sports Network. This show brings the temperature of sports to a whole new level. Whether it's a local opinion or a national agenda, everything is fair game. Remember, everyone has an opinion, but only few can back it up. Now sit back, crank up the volume, and if you think you can handle it, get ready for the heat.
What's up, everybody? We are live right here. Heat Ratio Live. I'm your host, Tony Jigsaw Chronicles, joined by Dan Old School Green, Nick the Scout Tosti, and the coach, Dave Dixon, is here tonight making his triumphant return right here from beautiful Bucks County at Steam Pub right now. And before we get into anything, you know what kind of show this is going to be, right? We always go around the world. We go to different topics. We talk about different things, but this is going to be basically an Eagles show because whether you're in mourning, whether you're in disbelief, whether you're dumbfounded, whatever it may be, this is going to be for you. But again, this is brought to you straight from Southampton, PA, right from this Steam Pub where they have the real-time draft beer list. Check it out, steampump.com, and their fantastic menu, and for hosting us as well. But we got to start right off the bat because this is very, very easy. This is going to probably be like the easiest show that we've done in a long time. And as always, Adam couldn't be here tonight, but Adam checking in. My man, Adam, what is up, my man? How you doing, buddy? As always.
Hello, Adam.
Took a picture last week, sent it to me of the Yingling glass with the frosty mug on it that he won here last week. Again, another Phillies prize pack going out to a lucky fan. But Tampa Bay did what they were supposed to do, and the Eagles didn't do what they were supposed to do. So there's a lot to get into, right? There's a lot to get into, and they're going to have a lot of questions. I know Dave could probably take up an hour and a half of all our time if we gave him the microphone, right? But there's a lot of things. What happened to the Eagles? Who do you blame for the loss? Do you consider a season success? What do you do going forward? So let's just start off in the beginning to say what happened to the Eagles. Now, last week we had a lot of chants going on. We had a lot of people talk about EAGLES. Nicky Nuts couldn't be here tonight. He's out coaching basketball. So go, not going to say the team, but go team for Nicky Nuts. Maybe it's the Nuts team. I don't even know. Like,
sponsored by Planners.
Yeah. Oh. Could be cashews though. But what happened? We were so. I know the fan took over a little bit, right? Obviously, you know it does. You believe Philly. You're like, there's a chance this could happen. But I'm just going to go down the line here. And Dan, like exactly what happened? Because I'm going to tell you, and you can play off this, but I thought the game was over on the second play, and I'll tell you why. Because right away, they ran the ball at Miles Sanders, who got a very respectable gain. And what happens? They take him out, and then they put Boss Scott and throw a pass. Why on God's earth? Dude, right there, I said, overthinking himself. Right away, they got what they needed to do, and it didn't work. And I'm like, this game's over. I honestly thought the game was over right there because I knew Sirianni's going to outsmart himself. Dan, what you think of this game, and what do you think the issue was?
Well, if you recall, last week when you said the game was at 8.5. I did say I would take the Buccaneers. I'm going to root my tail off that the Eagles win the game, but I had no hopes in this game. And maybe it's my Negadelphia attitude, but I saw a team that struggled the previous 5 weeks against god-awful opponents that didn't have NFL caliber quarterbacks, and they were down 10-0 before you blinked. And we said that if they do that with Tampa Bay, they could be down 10, 14, 17, 21-0 before you blink. And essentially that was it. And before I get to your point, which I agree with, I thought they made an idiotic decision deferring to the second half. Yes. Why would you give the greatest quarterback of all time the ball first and have them ram it down your throat, 7-0, and then like you said, Boston Scott comes in second play and we're 3 and out. And real fast before we go to Nick the Scout, I don't know how quickly they teased the Eagles and then went immediately 8 in the box. And then Sirianni was like, oh my God, we got to. Regardless of what their defensive strategy was, he was ill-prepared, unprepared for this game. You have to figure they're going to go 8 in the box if we are the best running team in the NFL.
I agree.
Did he look prepared to you when they went to 8 in the box?
No.
How many times did Troy Aikman say Devontae Smith is one-on-one? Look at the cushion they're giving him. Aikman said it 10 times. And I'm thinking, I said to my buddy who I'm watching the game with, we have guys up in the booth too that should be seeing the same damn thing and getting in the headsets saying, Devontae Smith, one-on-one coverage. Now,
but no, we throw it to Jalen Reagor.
Yeah, that's a whole nother show, dude. But that's all I have to say. I think they the problem was they were unprepared.
Very unprepared.
You can't give the GOAT the ball, have him march down, score 7 points, and then go 3 and out.
No, I completely agree.
And then so the game was just, you just knew it was over once it was 14-0.
No, you did. And Al checking in. What's up, Al? Al will be here next week.
Alphonse.
Yeah, I love it. Al will be here next week. Another part of the Heat Ratio family, right? Mike checking in says, best of luck on the remote show. Mike, as always, I'm just straight, man. You are the real one. Always up in my messages. We talk all the time. You've been a supporter since day one. Greatly appreciate it. Gene checking in. Walzak, Mr. Wire to Wire podcast host himself. Hertz D, Sirianni D, Gannon F. Right? Listen, I can't disagree with that. I can't. Adam says, as soon as Tampa scored, I knew it was over because they couldn't stop him. Mike says, do we have a recap of this weekend's picks from everyone? Interesting. Mm-hmm. Interesting. I think it'd be very easy.
I took Tampa Bay.
And we got last one. G says, Hertz has serious accuracy issues, and Devonta Smith isn't going to waste his career here without a quarterback. I'm going to touch on that in a minute, Gene, because I got a lot of words for that. But I want to go down the line, get everybody's recap first of the game, and then I'm going to touch on this said comment because the Twitter people were killing me on Sunday. So, Nick, what you think of this game, man?
Well, it's unfortunate because I think the confidence level that a lot of this fan base had rising up the side of a mountain going into this game is completely diminished right now going into the offseason. And, there's a lot of questions. We were outcoached, we were outplayed, and we were outclassed. It was as simple as that. We made no adjustments. We were in situations where you're absolutely right, Dan. You guys, we started off, we run the ball with Miles Sanders and completely give up. 8 men in a box. Let them beat you first. Why are you giving up so fast on the run? And what got you there? The number one rushing defense in the league, and you're giving up because they got 8 guys in the box. Let them beat you. Who knows? You're still running the ball. You're still getting 3-4 yards at a clip. You're going to sustain offense. You're going to sustain time possession. You're going to keep Tom Brady off the field. I don't agree with it. You guys are absolutely right about Devontae Smith. If you do have 8 guys in the box, what does that tell you? Your linebackers are all up front.
Safety.
You got a little hook route, little button route, something like that. Get Devontae Smith the football, man. He's a playmaker. Come on. Call some plays that are going to get your team involved in this offense, your players involved in this offense. Defensively, it was what we thought it was going to be. You want to wrap up our picks. I think a lot of us said if we were aggressive defensively, which was a hope because we hadn't seen it all year. So we were hoping that he would get a little different, make some adjustments, blitz, shuffle, do some counter your guys around. And man, we just let stunts. And we just let Tom Brady beat us, man. He didn't even go down swinging. It was so disappointing. And, there's a lot of questions. I think, Hurts and a little behind on a lot of his throws, man. Like, getting guys after they're coming out of the break, throwing the ball late downfield. And, that pick where Devontae Smith was, that could have been a little bit of a momentum changer right there with Devontae right wide open. I mean, there's clips, Tone. There's pictures of him online. Or you could just Google, like, he's just sitting there.
You got to come back for the ball, though. You still got to come back for the ball.
Yeah, but you got to get rid of that ball a little.
No, you do. It's a joint. It's a two-way street. But he didn't make any movement.
He did.
To come back for the ball.
And nobody comes back for the ball. None of these receivers are coming back for the ball. I mean, Reagor is the king and not coming back for the ball. We're not going to waste too much time.
No, let's not waste time on Jalen.
But we were outcoached and we were outplayed. And you know what? When you look at the rest of the teams that are in the playoffs right now, Howard's got some work to do, man. And I'm not confident that Gannon is the guy. I don't think anybody in this fan base is confident that Gannon is the guy going forward.
Interviews?
Get hired,
I don't know,
Get hired.
Can I ask
you
that?
He's got pictures of somebody.
Right.
Oh,
well,
that's fake.
Well, you remember
that's fake news.
Fake news?
Yeah. Well,
there's no way that man should have any type of interview for anything.
It was coming out even before the game. Like he was like, they're not. Everybody, we're coming out Jonathan Gannon.
if he gets a job in someone like D'Amico Ryans,
Flores.
Flores.
How about Todd Bowles, fellas?
Bowles.
How about
Bowles.
Leslie Frazier?
Or Leslie Frazier,
Right?
The
Todd
enemy.
Bowles should be.
I love Todd Bowles.
Should be a head coach in the
Jonathan
NFL.
Gannon, man. Adam just says got his third interview today. He's got the personality of a $5 bill. He shows no emotion on the sideline. How do you a defensive coordinator and show nothing?
And he carries an index
Right?
card for.
Yeah, that's right away. That's
Right,
an
yeah.
issue to me.
Yeah.
That's an issue to me. It really is. Al says I rewatched the game and seen a lot of stuff that made me lose my mind all over again. Al, I'm sure we're going to be with you. Trust me. Gene says I literally would rather have Dillard as a lineman on the field than Rager, who's worthless. Jalen Rager getting it.
We can't give Rager a lot of airtime tonight. Man.
It's not worth it. It's not, because we already know the guy stinks, right? So it is what it is. He locked up hat off to Jalen too, because he went off Instagram last night, because that's Jalen's thing. In the beginning of the year, he went all flacking on Instagram like F the fans, F this, F that, right? We don't know what we're talking about. Then all of a sudden he made a couple plays. Oh, everybody loves me, and now all of a sudden silent, radio silence. So again, Dave, it's been a while, buddy. It's been a while.
Doing?
Yeah, it's been a while. Glad to see that face over there, that smile. Let's talk. And I know you weren't smiling on Sunday, right?
I was.
I was.
But
this was not after the Dallas game, but after the Tampa game. So, Dave, in your best analysis that only Coach Dave Dixon could do, what you think about this game, buddy?
I think that for
my opinion,
our fans,
that sucked.
So our fan base, that was a glaring light that is shining on the whole Eagles organization. Tony, as my past, that I'm always after Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie. And this game was a highlight of what they did to our team. And I say our team. I am not mad at the coaching staff. I'm not mad at the players. I'm mad at Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman for what and where our program is. The organization is way behind. And I know this is drudging up old things, but this game highlighted every single one of these things. Your draft picks, your coaching picks, the opportunity for us to have certain players in this program and miss them. 3 out of 4 that we could go over. You talk about Rager, Dillard, Arcega-Whiteside, just to name a few. That has left our program with a gaping hole. And this game, I am glad they got there. And I'm glad that what happened for the simple fact that our fan base shouldn't be happy that Dallas lost, in my opinion. Our fan base should be furious at our ownership and our GM that what they gave us and what they have left us on the field is awful. And it's their fault. It's strictly their fault. I don't blame Jalen Rager for catching the ball. Everybody and their mother that watch football know that kid shouldn't be on an NFL roster. He might be able to make an XFL team. Maybe. I'm not trying to be mean. Arcega-Whiteside does not belong in an NFL uniform. And listen, I don't blame these kids for this. This isn't their fault for being drafted in a pro program. It's our fault. It's our program's fault. It's the 2 guys that lead our ship's fault. So for any Philadelphia fan that's mad at players, mad at Jalen Hurts because he can't read a defense, let's get him a coach to help him out. Let's get him more players. I was always a supporter of Carson Wentz. Tony will tell you that. I know Carson's inadequacies. I know that he does things wrong, but our program stiffed that kid, and I know it was time for him to leave. I get it. He was injury prone. He wasn't our guy. But prior to that, we did not support him well enough as an organization to get him proper players. Jalen Hurts is going to be in the same situation here if they don't do the right thing and get the players in here that help the program. You have 3 first-round draft picks, right? In my opinion, that's all defense. That's all defense. You have Derek Barnett, can't play. You have Brandon Graham, is old. Fletcher Cox, old. Hargrave, I'm not sure if he's signed again into next year, but maybe 1 year after this. And then what do you have? Josh Sweat. And you have a bunch of other kids that we don't know about.
Williams
Our
will be all right.
Our program is so depleted that, you hear fans say, oh, we get Aaron Rodgers in here or you get Russell Wilson. Do you think in the right mind that Aaron Rodgers wants to come to Philadelphia or Russell Wilson? And do we think as a fan base that the Eagles are a quarterback away from winning anything? They are not. They are not. There are so many glaring holes. And again, I do not blame the players. I don't blame the coaches that are here right now. I blame the organization. Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie should be held accountable for that game on Sunday. The product that they put out on the field and the preparation all falls on them, in my opinion.
That's a really good rant, Dave.
Thank you. I got a lot more for you still.
I got to give you that. That's a really, really good analysis right there. You kind of threw it all in, at one time. And there's a lot of stuff to chew on with that, right? I know our bro Gene says this dude spits facts. Adam said, I saw Brandon Brooks is going to retire. Interesting. That's something that
hurts.
Keep an eye on. Al says, thank you, coach. But Dave, here's what I got to ask you about that. I got to play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Because 6 weeks ago, we were all singing Howie Roseman's praises. We were all saying, hey, maybe Howie actually does have an eye for talent. Maybe Howie is right. Listen, everybody's going to miss picks. Nobody's perfect. The Jalen Reagor thing is going to hurt us for years because we get to watch Justin Jefferson tiptoe in the end zone after every touchdown, and it's nauseating. It's so painful. You don't want to say it. I get it. But the Derek Barnett pick, that's Joe Douglas. It's not Howie Roseman. Remember that?
Howie was out for that, though.
Right, but that was a Joe Douglas draft. And how many players do we have from that 2017 draft?
Left?
Yes.
I don't know if we have any.
The exact Derek Barnett.
Yeah.
So nobody's saying nothing about Joe Douglas. All I'm saying is I look at this team, and I am a one, and we're going to get Monkey Googs on back as well. And we're both a fire Howie Roseman guy. We always wear a bait against Howie Roseman. But here's what I will say. Avonte Maddox can play. Draft it, right? Landon Dickerson can play. Draft it, right? Look at the offense. Dillard, as much as we say, but Dillard still could play, right? As a good backup. Mailata,
but you
can play.
Mailata was,
TJ Edwards
I love Mailata.
Can play.
Yeah, but TJ Edwards is forced to play. Okay,
but he's still.
I don't think he still
can make plays.
He can make plays, but should he be a starting quarterback or linebacker?
But not everybody's drafting Bobby Wagner. You can't draft a stud every round.
I get that, but Dillard was picked first round, correct?
Yeah, and that was
your first rounders play.
I agree.
First rounders play. They're not good backups.
I hear you.
Avonte Maddox on other teams probably isn't a starter, in my opinion.
I think he played excellent this year at his
As
true
a nickel,
position.
A nickel.
At his true position.
So Nichols, okay.
It's a 4th round pick.
That's a good pick. I'll give you. I'll tip my hat to that one. Now, you missed 3 out of 4. You missed first round picks and second round picks that aren't starters in 2 consecutive years. You can't do that in the NFL. You can miss 1, maybe. You can't miss first or second round picks that aren't starters in the NFL consistently the way the Eagles have. I know teams have done it. Plenty of teams have done it, but we're just talking about our team.
So who?
And we're talking about a guy that's been here for 10 years and consistently has done more wrong than right.
Hold on for a second. Gene, do me a favor, because you're at home right now. Open up Google for me and go through every team in the NFL and tell me who they didn't miss on. Okay, right. You want to bring up Barnett, Jigsaw, Reagor, Dillard, Hurts? Listen, what's wrong with Hurts? Again, you're a Hurts hater. I know, I get it. You hate on Hurts all the time. Okay, I understand that. But those guys, they're still guys can play. Jigsaw can't play. Reagor can't play. I get that.
So here's my point, though, Tony. The guys that have missed on other organizations, they get fired.
But when
GMs get fired
severely.
Mike Mayock just put his team in the second round of playoffs and built that team from scratch. Mike Mayock is fired from that Las Vegas Raiders, who I would love to have.
So would I.
So
I didn't think he did a bad job.
Exactly right. He built a pretty good team. His draft, what he picked the guy, what's his name, Ruggs, that happened to.
How's he supposed to know that?
Right. So my point is, I understand that we're human and we make mistakes and we pick wrong people, but those people get fired for that. We've had Howie for 10 years. We have. And we need new blood picking this year. We need somebody other than Howie Roseman picking your draft picks.
Bro, but this is killing me. We did not lose because of Howie Roseman.
Oh, we sure did.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
How did we lose because of Howie
Howie
Roseman?
Roseman picked your coach.
You think Howie Roseman was the only guy who picked Nick Sirianni?
I think Howie Roseman was a big part of it.
So let me ask you
He's
something.
the general manager.
What did you ask me today? Let's get really good here so we get everybody in. What did you ask me today?
Which
if Carson Wentz was the quarterback in that game, did we win or lose?
I think their defense is a little bit more respectable because Carson can throw the football a little better than Jalen Hurts.
So you think Carson Wentz would have gave us a better opportunity to win?
Yeah.
And who was Carson Wentz drafted by?
He was drafted by
Howie Roseman. Just fell into my trap. So
no,
Nick,
it's not a trap.
Hold on.
He's not even on the team anymore.
But
he got rid of him.
You just said but now you're saying another player from the Howie Roseman regime could have came in and did a better job.
One player?
I'm just saying.
That's the only player that he drafted that made the Pro Bowl.
Listen, man.
By the way, it's not. This isn't a trap. Howie Roseman drafted one player that made the Pro Bowl, and that's Carson Wentz, and he got rid of him.
Okay.
So I mean, listen. You want to keep Howie? I know you don't.
I would keep Howie.
You want to keep him?
I would keep him, yes.
No way. He's terrible.
I don't think we lost. Nick, help me out here. Yeah. I see you shake your head, so I'm curious of your opinion. Is Howie Roseman the main reason why we lost this game?
No. Look, if we're just going to keep relying on what happened with the Rager Jefferson fiasco, it was a horrible mistake. And yes, perhaps GMs will get fired for that, but he built probably what is the best offensive line in football. Not only starters, but depth-wise.
Thank you,
John. I mean, you got guys going down left and right, and you got guys like Herbert and Dickerson coming in and stepping up. Milton Williams is going to be a good player on the defensive side of the ball. He drafted him. And being a GM isn't just about drafting either. It's about signing the right players. It's about getting the right contracts in place, putting things together for your team to sustain longevity. I think Howie, if you got a great, maybe we're better off looking at this as in a grading system almost rather than whether he's the right GM or not. And honestly, over his last 5 to 7 years in tenure, I give him a B, man. But
he's got one Pro Bowler.
No, I'm with Dave on this one. Players win games, Tone. I mean, coach, obviously you need a good coach, but they don't have the talent that other teams have. I mean, if Jonathan Gannon is so passive because he just doesn't trust the defense. Let me help Dave out. Well, he doesn't need my help, but 2018, that was a good draft. You have Goddard, Maddox, Sweat, Pryor, who plays for Indianapolis.
Right. We're going to give Goddard.
No, and Malata. That was a good draft. But 2019, Tony mentioned it. That was a combo, Douglas and Howie draft. And Howie ultimately has the say. So Barnett, Jones, Douglas, Hollins, Pumphrey, Shelton Gibson, Nathan Gary, and Elijah Qualls.
Terrible.
Barnett's the only guy left, and he sucks.
He's terrible.
2019, Dillard, Sanders, we can say.
So wait a minute, you said 2000. So that Barnett is 2017.
Yeah, 17. I already referenced 18.
Yeah, okay.
18 we talked about. That was the Goddard and company. 2019, Dillard. Dave said you don't draft a guy to be a solid backup. Miles Sanders, very good, but I don't know if they're going to sign him to an extension.
Me neither.
JJ's gone. He broke his finger and he played his last game. I guarantee it. And Clayton Thorson is part of the quarterback factory, working in a factory somewhere.
If I may, let me go down the list of players that were picked after Dillard, okay, in the league. So Dillard was picked at 22. You got Titus Howard, Josh Jacobs, but, we wound up getting – that was the same year that we got –
we don't draft running backs.
Look at 26.
Exactly. Marquise Brown, Montez Sweat, Jonathan Abram, Jerry Tillery, L.J. Collier,
Montez
DeAndre
Sweat
Baker.
would be good on this team.
Yeah, okay, but – Look,
it's so easy. Hindsight 2020.
First players taken in the second round: Byron Murphy, Rock Sin, Jawan Taylor, Deebo Samuel. Okay, a lot of people pass on Deebo Samuel. You can't blame them for that. Greg Little, Cody Ford, Sean Murphy Bunning. What are we looking for in this? Are we looking to draft a starter no matter what you pick?
Well,
That's
your goal.
The rest of the league didn't do it. The rest of the league didn't do it.
The first round, though, listen to his first round picks. The past four. Let's go. Carson Wentz is gone. Barnett's a bust. We didn't have a first round pick in 2018.
Right.
So we'll say Goddard was his top pick. Very solid. Dillard, bust. Rager, bust. Devontae Smith, you couldn't go wrong in that spot. Where he was brilliant, and I'll give him credit for this, was not only did you get Devontae Smith, you got a number one out of Miami.
Yeah,
So
with Fred talking about the 3 number 1 picks. That we have this year,
Well,
too.
he's good at wheeling and dealing,
manipulating trades and signing
he's
and
gotta
doing
let the scouts-
contracts.
he's gotta
Stick
let
with
the
the
scouts
money.
do the job.
Stick with the money and the other stuff. I'm not saying we didn't talk about that
Right.
stuff. He is excellent.
He's not letting the
at that
scouts do their
stuff.
job.
But don't
And I agree
pick
with
our
Dave.
players.
Yeah.
Stop picking our players, please. Stop.
picking our players.
Please. And you talked about the offensive line.
Man.
The offensive line is coached by one of the best offensive line coaches who should be looked at for a head coaching job. In Stoutland.
Yeah.
He's one of the
stud.
reasons why
He's
those
the third head
guys
coach on the Eagles. He's sticking around.
He's one of the reasons why they're able to plug in
and play.
But who hired the offensive line coach?
Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman.
Well,
Yeah, I give them credit for that.
Now,
But
actually, that might have been
miss
Chip- that
more
might
than
have
they
been Chip Kelly,
miss
actually.
more than they have missed more than GMs that miss frequently don't have jobs. GMs that do well in this league and they miss on one thing, they don't have jobs. This guy continues to have a job. And
He
listen,
does.
it's my opinion, and I feel as if we need new blood picking for our team. And listen, his bean counting ability and his ability to manipulate the draft, I think he does an excellent job at that. Stick with that. That's what you're good at.
To me,
Stay.
that-
How
to me,
about
that
this?
is- be
Stay in
careful.
your lane.
be careful what you wish for because you just might get it.
Stay in your
my thing.
lane.
You know, what I mean,
Stay
you might
in your
get somebody in here that is just going to be that much worse. And because there aren't that many GMs that aren't much better.
But I think to Dave's point, though, I don't think how he gets hired as a personnel guy with another team. He would.
he 100%.
No, he wouldn't. He's a modern day Joe Banner.
I don't know, man.
He
I
doesn't-
don't know.
he-
I think
he does not know players.
he'd be
evaluation.
hired tomorrow.
Not as a
I think he would be
personnel
hired
director,
tomorrow.
No way.
To
And we're-
draft players?
No way.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, he's very well respected around the NFL. You say what you want, but he's very well respected.
I don't think so.
I don't
think
know
for-
where
I
you're
think
getting
for
your
ca-
info
think for
from, but I doubt
for
that.
cap management, yes, but
I'm-
not for player
Listen, you
evaluation.
can't make the trades that he's made
No,
without
but-
having respect.
That's different. That's a different
It's
realm.
not
That's a
different.
different realm in the program.
Oh man, you're killing me.
It's
I need a break from you, Dixon. Already.
Good. I'll
I
be
need-
out for another 3
I
months.
need. You need to go on a DL. Are you on a DL yet again?
Yeah.
My God, his shoulder, something going on over
Yeah.
there. But listen, man, we're going to talk about who do you blame for this loss. We already talked about that. Do you consider the season a success? And while we do that, we're going to talk Dave, Nick, myself. Nick, we're going to get Jay up here in a minute. Transition a little bit, get Jay on the mic from Sports Skill Radio to talk about what his feelings are about the team. But Dan, do you consider this season a success? And the reason why I say that is because I came into this year saying I expected 9 wins, and everybody thought I was crazy. I said I expected a 9-win team, and they could possibly win 10 with the extra game. There was a lot of people that said I was crazy, and a lot of people that said, no way, 4 wins tops, maybe 5. They doubled that with a rookie head coach, and say what you want, but a rookie quarterback. Okay, the guy only played 6 games last year, and 4 of them were meaningful. Okay, so I'm not even going to count last year. So this year, my opinion, for me, this season was an ultimate success. I don't care what happened in this game as much as everybody else. I get it. They were unprepared. Yes, I get it. But this is the first year. Okay, everybody wants everything right now, and I do too, especially when we talk about the Sixers. But with this team, there is no Joel Embiid, right? Joel Embiid is being wasted on the Sixers right now without that second piece. So, yes, I want to win now. But this team is 2 to 3 years away. So, guess what? I'm happy with where they got. I'm not happy the way they played. I understand that. But I still think this season was a success. What do you think?
If you were to ask me at the beginning of the year, giving me a crystal ball and said they would make the playoffs, I'd say, oh my God, I wouldn't have seen that coming. But now that the season's over and you say, well, they didn't beat a single team with a 500 record or better.
I get it.
But that's part of the evaluation of a successful team. And the second they get to face a team with a winning record, they get destroyed and embarrassed. So was it successful? depends on what success is. Success, getting players the experience of tasting the playoffs, then they were successful. Is successful seeing your quarterback develop throughout the year. He developed throughout the year. He had a bad playoff game, but he did develop throughout the year. So that's successful. They say a win is a win in the NFL.
Yes.
So then Sirianni was successful. But my gut tells me they still have a ton of warts. And I'll say they were successful because they made the playoffs, and that's not what I anticipated. So from that perspective, you have to say they're successful. But I still see a ton of warts, and that's still a concern of mine.
I don't disagree with that. But the only statement I agree with that you said is when you said a win is a win in the NFL. Any given Sunday, we watched the Jacksonville team go in and defeat the Buffalo Bills. We watched the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get beat by the New Orleans Saints when nobody thought that was possible. Does that just count any less? Right? Does that? No, nobody says.
Well, that's a letdown.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it happens, right?
Ebb and flow is
bad teams beat good teams. It doesn't matter. Yeah. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't say, hey, well, they only beat the Jets. No, they got into the playoffs, and they went to a playoff game in Nick Sirianni's first year. For me, that's a success.
Can I ask you a question back real fast
before
what's up? We go to Nick?
Yeah, go ahead.
So let's say the Eagles didn't make the playoffs. Let's say they still finished 9-8, but
yes,
they didn't make the playoffs. And this is not it. This is more of just a thought question. Does Jalen Hurts take less punishment as a player that finished the year 9-8, didn't make the playoffs, versus making the playoffs, and he showed himself in that game? I think he would have been. It would have been better for him if he didn't make the playoffs. The way the season ended, you know what I'm saying? If they finished 9-8, they went on a little run, they finished above 500. I'm just saying.
I disagree with that.
I'm not saying I don't disagree with the importance of Hurts getting playoff experience.
Yes.
I think the fan base would see Jalen Hurts in a better light had they not seen this latest game.
I don't think that's true. I think they're pointing out all his deficiencies, right? Because they're banking on not only what everybody says, but not giving this kid a chance, right? Honestly, I just think that they're so set on, okay, he was, I don't want to bring up Carson Wentz. I really don't, right? But we did buy into the Carson Wentz wagon, right? We did. We loved Carson Wentz.
He had one fantastic
right?
year.
He did. He really did. He couldn't miss.
Yeah.
Right? So don't expect every quarterback to come right in and do that. What I'm saying is if you do have a proper scheme and you do put proper players around Jalen Hurts, right, he is going to win football games. That's just my opinion. Nick, what do you think about this?
Well, when you want to define success for the 2021 Philadelphia Eagles, I mean, you've got to start with Carson Wentz, who was your franchise quarterback, moving on from him and really knowing nothing, really knowing the unknown going into this season. And if you define success looking at the success bar, whether you're above or below that bar, I put them above the bar. It was a successful season. You developed a young quarterback in his first year. A rookie wide receiver in Devontae Smith had another year of development, and Quez Watkins. Dallas Goedert had a very good year. He was very productive. And losing Zach Ertz, on the other side there, really taking a lot of the workload on his own. You had a decimated offensive line that was very, very deep and led a rushing attack that was number one in the NFL. Number one in the NFL, guys. Number one rushing in the NFL. Again, who you're playing. Going from Miles Sanders running the ball 3 times, third game of the season. So you have a rookie coach that was successful because he made adjustments, right? So all in all, when you take a look at that and you put that into the equation, that aspect of the football team was, to me, successful. Making it into the first round of the playoffs, losing to Tampa Bay. You had players on defense that I thought played better than I would have expected, especially Darius Slay and Maddox. You signed him. Now we've got some work to do in the offseason, and you shore up that defense at linebacker and edge. I'm telling you right now, and you don't make them. The guy that needs to evolve again, we're going to talk about, is Gannon.
Yeah,
he's got to figure it out.
First year though.
First year
again.
There's a lot of first years
yes.
here. And at the end of the day, to answer your question, Tone, for me, if you're a football guy and you're asked that question, and you say no to that, guy's gonna look at you like you got 3. An expert is gonna look at you like you got 3 heads.
I listen. I completely concur. I do. Well, I agree with everything. 100%. Young team, young coach and staff, and usually Jigsaw is not patient. I didn't get the name Jigsaw for being patient. Okay, but I'm actually patient with this team right now. I am. We're going to kick it down to Jay. Jay, we haven't heard your opinion yet on things, and elaborate on everything. The game is a season of success. What was your take from everything, and what do you feel in a couple days later?
Okay, Tone, here's my take on this. And I'm going to sprinkle some rainbows over the Philadelphia Eagles right now.
Over the
Right?
flowers?
Here's the thing. You look at how the rookie quarterbacks fared in this first round of the NFL season, right? The playoffs, right? You look at how the Arizona Cardinals quarterback fared. They struggled, right? And they bowed out in the first round of the playoffs. You look at Jalen Hurts. When has he had a stable offensive coordinator in his career, right? You look at his collegiate career and where he went in his collegiate career. He's never had a stable offensive coordinator throughout his career. Now he's going into year 2. He's going to have a stable offensive coordinator. He's going to have a stable offensive coach in his career for the first time ever in his career. So he's going into year 2. He's going to have things stabilized. He's going to have a stable offense. He's going to know what he's going into in year 2. And here's something else that I don't know how many people have pointed to. How many times has the NFC Eastern Division champion repeated since the Eagles did it in, 2003, 2004?
It's alternates, yeah.
Right? There has never been a repeat NFC Eastern Division champion. So, if you want to look at it, maybe going into the next season, 2003, 2004, yeah, you look at it, and here we go. Dallas may not repeat. So, if you look at it, how do we feel about the New York Giants coming up and being division champions? Maybe if they got Harbaugh, maybe they improve a little bit, but I don't think they're going to be division champions. So that leaves the Eagles and the Washington football team. I like the Eagles beating the Washington football team to become NFC Eastern Division champion. I'm not saying that'll get them a bye or anything, but hey, maybe the Eagles emerge as division champions because the NFC,
you're going 2022 already? 2022? God damn, bro. We're like a day removed. You got like the crystal ball in front of you, man.
Because we know that Cowboys may not repeat because we have maybe the roulette wheel says the Cowboys are due. We're due to have a division champion repeat, but maybe not. So if we're not, who's going to be the division champions? I like the Eagles champion. I like the Eagles chances right there. Come on, Tom.
Listen,
Jigsaw.
I love the passion, Jay. I love the passion, but I can't get on board right now, man.
Come on.
I got a whole off season to worry about.
The one thing
I got a whole off season to worry about.
Tom. Come on, Jigsaw. Play the game. Come on.
Oh, listen, I play the game better than anybody, but this is the game I can't play right now.
So, Tell, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
We're you just asked the question about was the season a success. You guys clearly think it was. Yeah. I could find pros and cons. Ultimately, I believe it was a success. Jay obviously does. But imagine being a Cowboys fan, only from the perspective of I'm this is blasphemy, but the Cowboys have a lot of talent. They have a lot of talent on that team, and imagine that fan base. Imagine if that fan base had our knowledge.
Yeah, well, they definitely don't have our knowledge.
With another season down the tubes.
That was not a successful season, by the way.
No.
They have a lot of
Look at their head coach.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now that's what I was about to say. I was going to transition to that.
Yep.
Imagine if they had the guts to fire McCarthy and they brought somebody in. No, keep McCarthy, please. Just like we wanted the Giants to keep Joe Judge. But yeah, and real fast to your Redskins point. The Redskins are one of those other teams that are desperate for
Washington football team. Thanks, Jay.
What'd I say?
Washington football team. Who? The Red who?
Oh,
Washington football team.
The Red Wolves. The Red
WFT.
Wolves. I'm sorry. The Red Wolves. They'll be the Red Wolves soon. But yeah, Washington is desperate for a quarterback. So all this talk about us going after this quarterback, that quarterback, There are a lot of teams that are desperate for quarterbacks.
There is.
And if Washington gets one, they could be interesting.
Maybe they'll go back down the well and bring Kirk Cousins back in Washington.
It's possible.
If he grows a beard, maybe.
I can't stand. He's the biggest stiff in the
He is a
NFL.
stiff.
I really can't stand Kirk
Talk
Cousins.
about a franchise that's
Right?
reeling right now with
Oh.
the Vikings, man. God,
Their GM got fired.
Oh, jeez.
The only guy that's winning in Minnesota that's no longer there is Mike Zimmer. I'm just all I'm going to tell you is just Google Mike Zimmer and you'll find out why. That's all I got to say. My man is packing some heat. That's all I got to say.
Tone, I got a question for you. Tone.
Go ahead, Jay.
Okay, so the Eagles defensive coordinator has been interviewed for a couple of different positions as head coach. What do you think if he goes on to become a head coach and the Eagles get like a Zimmer as their defensive coordinator?
I'm all in for that.
You know, like
Honestly, I'm in. I don't mind retreads at coordinator spots.
yeah.
Especially with our
you
young
know?
coaching staff. They still
Yep.
could use some experience on this coaching staff.
Yeah, you're right, Dan. I mean, it's another good point. It gives them not only a guy who used to be defensive coordinator in Cincinnati, right? And it gives a guy who's got head coaching experience. So I want Jay 100%. Look what Jack Del Rio did and reinvented himself in Washington, right? That was a brilliant move by Ron Rivera to bring him in as a D coordinator. Dan Quinn, and he's going to get a head coaching job again. And you know what, Vic
Todd
Fangio?
Bowles.
Fangio is probably going to get a D coordinator job, reinvent himself. I don't know if I was ever on the Fangio wagon as a head coach.
How can you look at this season and not think that we're close to making a run?
With the draft capital
we have to build.
with
We
the
have
draft
to
capital,
build.
for
We
sure.
have to build this defense to stop the Cowboys. We have to build this defense to stop Washington if indeed they do go down the route of quarterback. We have to build this defense to stop the teams that are in the playoffs now: the Bucks, the Rams, the Niners, the Packers. Right. So, offensively, we're going to make strides, and we have made strides. This team is not that far off from trying to accomplish what they need to accomplish. At the end of the day, there is still some work to be done. We've got 3 first-round draft picks, and we've got what we feel, Tony, a GM that's going to be able to get us over the curve.
I like how you said that, the way we feel. Because
I don't think you really believe that.
I think Nick's on the Jigsaw team with this.
There's no way Nick has
Team
faith in
Jigsaw.
Howie drafting 3
There's no
first-round
way.
picks.
I'll tell you, Team Green, Team Green's going down, bro.
Yeah.
This is all Team Jigsaw up here, 100%.
He's kissing your tuchus.
So let's get to a trivia question. Let's take a little ease on the Eagles talk. We're going to get right back into it as always, but and Dan's got the answers to this. Okay, so we're going to lay to Dan for the answers. But first, again, as always, first trivia question tonight is brought to you by Prime Roofing of Southampton, PA. Not only do they rescue your roof, but they get it done right. Go visit Bernie. He is the man. Visit them at www.primeroofingpa.com. Find them on Instagram. Find them on Facebook. Wherever you need to find them, they are there to get your roof done right the first time. So the trivia question is, and we're going to go Major League Baseball with this. 3 players in Major League Baseball history have both a 35-game hitting streak and a 30 home run season in their career. Who are they?
Just 3, baby.
Just 3.
Jeez.
Just 3. So chomp on that, and the winner will get some nice Prime roofing gear to go home with as well.
Guarantee you Jay knows it.
3 players in Major League Baseball have both a 35-game hitting streak and a 30 home run season in their career. Who are they? So chomp on that. Don't Google. Don't cheat. It's so easy to do that. We'll come back and we'll see if we get some answers from the audience and see if maybe somebody gets it. I don't know. Maybe somebody gets it. Gene, he says, I'm here for the trivia. Gene, check it out. Don't Google it, buddy. I know you won't. Don't Google it and let me know. Gene's already checking in. He says Rollins. He goes Rollins. And Dan Old School Green is saying yes.
That's one.
J-Roll is one of those guys. J-Roll is one of those guys. He also says JBJ. JBJ. Help me out. Gene, who's
No.
JBJ? What am I missing?
I know LBJ. Not a president, no. JBJ.
I don't know. I don't know who JBJ is. Help me out.
It's not JBJ.
Okay, whoever JB. Oh, there you go, Jackie Bradley Jr. What do you got? Ricky Henderson from the audience. Do we got a Ricky Henderson?
It's not
no.
It's not Ricky Henderson.
No Ricky Henderson.
No.
This is a tough one, man. It's a tough one.
The second you say hitting streak,
That 35 games.
it
It's
should
no
pop
joke.
into everyone's mind. Even Taylor knows this one.
35 games. You got something? You got a guess? See, she's not even paying attention. Yeah. Freddie Freeman.
No.
35 game hitting streak and 30 home runs
in their career.
Yeah, we only have
J-Roll.
one, J-Roll.
2 more left.
2 more left. So everybody think on that. Okay, everybody think on that so we get back to this talk because we have some other stuff to talk about. We want to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, right? We talk about free agency. And again, it's very early. It's very early, but this is just a little peek, right? We want a little peek at maybe what can we do for Jalen Hurts. Because I'm saying that because I want Jalen Hurts back for one more year. I want them to go out, guys. I want them to find a quarterback whisperer, a quarterback coach, just like Buffalo did with Ken Dorsey. They're bringing him in to work with Josh Allen. Because for 2 years, Josh Allen couldn't hit a tractor trailer that was parked in a CVS parking lot. Okay? He could throw it through it, but he couldn't hit it. Okay? And I just want them to give him an opportunity. And it's going to cost you nothing. He's in a rookie deal. You don't have to pay $45 million like Patrick Mahomes for that guy. You just have to do that, right? You just have to give him one more shot. It helps you to build that. So, Dan, when we look at, let's just say, offensive line. We got Jason Kelce retiring, essentially. I know he hasn't said nothing, but listen, he's probably not coming back, okay? It's his last year. The guy's a legend, okay? So, I know you usually draft guys, and I know you have some depth, but is there anybody offensive line, Brandon Brooks, guard, Pro Bowl guard, even though Dickerson played well? I get it, but I'm not ready to say that we don't need another guard or a center. So anybody out there that we could look at, Dan, like the top couple guys that are available?
Ryan Jensen
from Tampa Bay. I'm sorry, I don't think that they're letting Ryan Jensen go.
Right. Well, you asked if
right.
he's an unrestricted free agent. So is he about the money?
Right. How old is Ryan Jensen?
He's 30.
He's 30 years old. So, again, not bad. 30 years old, not bad. That's kind of like right there. That's something that's doable.
Nick Martin, 28.
Nick Martin. I like Nick Martin. I like that. That's something that I would kind of target, right? That's something. Now, what would you do, Dan?
No, I think if you're convinced Kelsey's going to retire, now Nick brought up a good point last week. Does Landon Dickinson step right in?
Oh, Dickerson was a stud.
Become our new center.
And we didn't even, a lot of us blasted that pick.
Well, that's why they drafted him to replace Jason Kelce.
That's true. That's right.
You're right, but he's just so enormous now. He'd probably have to lose a little bit of weight for the center position.
Do you think he's going to be athletic like Kelce?
Yeah. Well, for a guy that's coming off of 3 ACLs.
Yeah. Oh God, Jesus.
Yeah.
So doing jumping jacks and cartwheels.
He's a technician. Has an offensive line.
Well, that's good.
If not for injury, he would have been a number one. A first round pick.
And it's also good to have interchangeable parts.
We weren't ripping the talent of the kid. We were concerned about drafting
he was a center at Alabama, right?
We were concerned about drafting a 350-pound man off of 3 ACL surgeries.
Right.
So thank God the kid, not only did the kid come back, he came back early.
So Vinny's checking in, and again, Vinny, I'm gonna lay to you because I'm not a college football guy. I'm the first one to say it says Linderbaum from Iowa is supposed to be a Kelce clone and would allow them to keep Dickerson at guard. So I'm a firm believer the offensive line gets built through the draft.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yes. I mean, it's just you have to hit on your offensive linemen. They have to be number one. They have to be depth players. Number one, they have to be starters. Right? High picks need to be starters, and you have to find those guys in the 5th or 6th round in order to be able to backfill your O line. So, Vinny, what kind of pick are we looking at? Gene checks in. He says Linderbaum is a beast. He's a little bigger than Kelce, but not as quick. Is this? And guys, I'm gonna go to you, Vinny, Gene, while we're talking here. Where we have to get this guy at? Are we talking about? Is this a 1st round pick? Is it a 2nd round pick? Something like that. So let us know why we're talking about that. And right now, I want to shift a little. I'm going to go to Nick, and we're going to talk wide receivers. I want to go right to the wide receiver market because I think Jalen Hurts can be helped by a veteran receiver that's shorthanded to go along with Devontae Smith.
How does the name Juju Smith-Schuster sound?
Juju. How old is Juju?
25.
That's somebody you got to look at.
He's coming off of $8 million a year though, so he's kind of probably won 12 to 15.
We're freeing up $45 million.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah.
But he does have an extensive head injury history. He's had about 3 or 4 concussions since he's been in the league, so it's something to look at.
Here's 2 names I like, Tone. Christian Kirk.
I love Christian Kirk.
I mean, he's a rising star, and
he is.
And you know, I'm not a Murray basher, but he's just not. He's not developing down there.
It's all Hopkins.
You know, you got a guy sitting there. Yeah, I mean, you got a guy sitting there in Kirk that is just waiting for his roots to grow out and be watered and be fertilized.
I'm with you.
The other guy, man, I like is DJ Chark.
I like DJ Chark.
You know, I mean, he
showed
never
some really
had
good
the coaching around him. He's never had the offense around him to help him develop.
Yeah, especially this year.
Those guys are free agents. I'd love to see them go the free agent route at wide receiver, Tone, so they can take these picks. You got to get an edge rusher. We don't know what's happening with Brandon Graham.
That's huge.
But Barnett is just, again, we talk about which Barnett is going to show up. I like Sweat. I'm sure you guys do too. I think he'll be okay there. And I mean, obviously, like the need at linebacker is just
it's
so bad.
glaring.
It's just
it always has been.
Yeah.
Wait, when you think about that, they go back to the Andy Reid days. We never drafted linebackers.
Kobe Dean.
Right? We had Levon Kirkland running around the field, for Christ's sake. Right?
Yeah.
Matt McCoy.
So Nakobe Dean is the guy.
McCoy. Oh,
sorry.
Barry Gardner.
Sorry, everyone.
Andy Studebaker. Quentin Caver. How many guys do we had to go through? Oh, my God.
He's defensive end.
Mark Semino.
Real fast before we move on to Jay, what are your thoughts? Now, another injury-prone guy, but what are your thoughts on Mike Williams?
Mike Williams, I love Mike Williams. I'm going to say San Diego. I always say San Diego.
Yeah.
But, I know they're LA
He's
now.
27.
It doesn't matter. He's a really nice player. Yeah. I don't see them letting him go. No way. Honestly, Palmer's not ready to take over. Guyton's not ready to take over. That team needs Mike Williams.
It's all about who pays them the most.
It is, but I think they have the money and the ability to do that. So I like Mike Williams. But another guy, and Jay, I asked you, Allen Robinson. What does that name say to you, Allen Robinson?
It's good. You know, I like throwing out all these weird kind of scenarios and stuff.
Okay, hit us with it.
So I'm sitting down at the Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving dinner with like the Kelsey family. Like, we know that their mom traveled to both games this past weekend, right? Awesome parental stuff,
Oh yeah, that's what moms do. That's what moms do,
right? Supporting her kids and stuff. So I wonder, here's the thing. I think Jason Kelsey still has gas left in the tank. Right?
Okay.
I look at this season and I look at him. He's blocking downfield, and
he's a stud on one leg, by the way.
Right, on one leg. I still think he has gas left in the tank, I think he's going to look at how his I don't think he's made up his mind yet as to whether or not he's going to retire or whether he's going to come back to the Eagles or not. Right, and I think each year it's a year-by-year basis with Jason Kelsey at this point. Right? I think he's looking at how do I feel? Where's the team trending? Who am I playing next to? Do I think I can get another ring? Or
who's the quarterback?
Or whatever. And I think he's going to look at this Eagles team as trending in a positive direction. Like, I can come back and I can play center again. I still have a little bit of gas left in the tank. And the other thing I think that he and his brother look at is, what would be fun or would be interesting is if we retired the same year, right? Like, I wonder
I see that.
Like, I wonder if we retired the same year, and people have been saying that Jason Kelsey is a borderline, maybe possible Hall of Famer.
Possible? I think he's.
I'm just saying.
Who are those people?
Who knows how people vote, right? We know voting can be, right? Travis Kelsey, his brother, Hall of Famer.
Yes.
What? So I'm thinking
So they're going
maybe
together, is what you're saying.
here's the thing. I'm thinking maybe the two of them, Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving dinner, sit down, have a conversation. You know what? Maybe if we retired the same year, maybe we can get inducted to the Hall of Fame the same year.
I
So
can see something like that.
So I'm saying Jason's obviously the center, the older brother. So it's like, well, how much more do I have to? I can see Jason coming back next year. Obviously Travis Kelce is coming back next year, right? So
Never know. You never know.
You never know. But I'm saying maybe the two of them retire the same year to try and get inducted to the Hall of Fame the same year. I'm just saying maybe.
No, listen, it's a point. It's a good point.
And the Eagles go along, talk to Jason Kelce and say, okay, are you coming back? So now we can address other needs along the offensive line, other needs along the defense, spend those first round picks. And here's the other thing, too.
They got to be on defense, by the way. Those first round picks.
They got to be on defense, but maybe Howie, looking ahead, says, I'm not certain about the quarterback position, so maybe he spends one of those first round picks and trades it to the following year.
Yes.
To where there's a better quarterback draft or a better draft. So maybe he moves a pick, or maybe he moves, I don't know, Gardner Minshew. Maybe he gets another pick the following year to try and get a quarterback in next year's draft.
That's a good point, because what's going to happen is people have to realize you got 3 first round picks. That's a lot of cash that you got to pay out.
Exactly.
It's a lot of money. That's a lot. They still get paid. Right.
Exactly.
So they're signing bonuses. It still get paid. So I don't mind the idea of trading back this year in order to pick up another first round pick next year.
And that's likely to happen.
And it is very likely to happen. Very likely.
We know how he likes to accumulate picks.
He likes to wheel and deal.
And you have to pay number one draft picks. So they have $14 million in cap space, supposedly. And number one picks make $2 to $3 million a year.
Yeah, I mean, so 100%.
You can't afford it all.
So maybe you go out into free agency, address the number 2 wide receiver position, because I love Devontae as a number 1. They just didn't go to him enough. I like him as a number 1, so maybe you address the wide receiver position.
You got to get him help.
Yep.
You got to get him help. You do.
And then
they're saying that the dynamic doing down there in Atlanta is not too happy either. Ridley and Gage.
Give me Ridley all day.
I know you love Ridley.
Give me some Ridley all day.
What's there not to love?
And here's the thing: if Aaron Rodgers decides not to come back to Green Bay,
he's going
maybe
back.
I think he is.
He's going back.
I think he's going back, but who knows what the wide receiver in Green Bay does.
Oh, I know. Oh, yeah, exactly. They're going to franchise. And Jay, I hear you. I would back up the Brinks truck all day long for Devontae Adams.
Yep.
But I just don't think that's going to happen.
No.
I think that realistic option is to get that borderline guy, like, whether it be a Juju, whether it be a Chark, whether it be an A-Rob, the Christian Kirk, who I would take Christian Kirk out of all of them. I think he's fantastic. Yep. I love Christian Kirk. But let's get back. We got a couple answers coming in. Okay. So we're about halfway through, more than halfway through. We got about 20 minutes left on the show. Okay. And we have some answers coming through. We got Dan Ugly, Pete Rose.
No, Pete Rose had no pop.
Manny Ramirez.
No.
That's a good pull. I love the Manny Ramirez play. I do. Let's see what else we got here. We have, I think, our man A-Rod and Barry Bonds.
No.
From Adam. No. So we only got one of these guys. Rick, Rick.
We got someone from the audience.
All right, so we got A-Rod from the audience. That's okay.
No.
It was wrong, though.
No A-Rod.
Up the game.
But I'll give you a hint. Jeter? I'll give you a hint. It is the Yankee.
And our buddy Rick Sexton says Bryce Harper.
No.
He didn't have the hitting streak.
No. But he's got a nice beard.
Well, he's got a nice beard. All right, listen. Now we're going to transition back, right? We got about 20 minutes left. And we this is the time where we do the Jigsaw Chronicles. And this is a fun segment. Now we're going to get to something else before we end the show. Okay? So we're going to go. We're going to have Dave and Jay switch again.
Yep.
While we're in here talking about the Jigsaw Chronicles. And every week we talk about confessions. And we've had parking lot wars. We've had lunch meat counter confessions. And this week we're going to talk about Air Compressor Confessions. Now, everybody's going to ask, what the hell are we talking about? This is where we just have a little fun, because it's all about having fun, right? We got to have a little fun. And when we talk about this, we call it the Air Compressor Confessions, because if I had a quarter for every time there's 12 people in line at Wawa to get free air, and not just free air. They get like a step stool out to try to reach the bungee cord all the way around to get that air. Where they listen, there's a place called Harbor Freight. You could buy an air compressor for $6. It plugs into your lighter adapter. You can go out in your slippers and your robe right out in front of your house, and you can just throw it on and fill your tires up. And again, why does everybody wait till it's 12 degrees? Right? That just means you're not checking your tires anyway. And the worst part about that is it's right on your damn screen. It tells you the tire pressures of every single tire. But every day I gotta weave around the traffic. I gotta get through because everybody needs air. And then God forbid somebody actually needs it. They got a flat. They gotta wait in line for a half hour because everybody else who's trying to get that free air. So again, I've been there, and I know we got Nick. I'm going to go right there because I know you say you were there today, and you were thinking. So we're talking about little air compressor confessions here, and I just say Wawa because it is free air.
I can't believe you came up with this topic, though, because it was like literally like this is something everybody can relate to right now with their tire pressure monitor like coming on in their car, you know, when it's 0 degrees outside. But I avoid Wawa like the plague to get my air. I got a little mom and pop gas station in my town. I get my gas there. Dave's my gas guy. We talk a little bit while he's pumping my tank. He does my windshield. I get my car service there, and I get my air there. The downside is it's not free. It's 75 cents. So I pull up to get air. I better have quarters in my thing, because now I got to go inside with $1 and get the change. Hopefully I find somebody that can give me the change. It's a whole
now there's a change shortage, right? So now we got a change shortage.
So but the problem with when it's not free is you're on a timer. So I think it's a minute, right? So now I got to master the whole like be on Team Honda in the Grand Prix, be the pit crew guy but I figured it out though, Tone.
You got a secret?
Listen, this is what you got to do out there if you're paying for
everybody. Listen, this is how we do this.
Everybody, make sure you take your cap off, put it on top of your tire. Go around your car before you put the money in the air compressor. Go around your car, take the caps off, put them on top of the tires, all 4 tires. Then you put the money in, and boom, you go. You hit each one. It's got the little gauge on there, so it knows it. Pop it up, boom, 36. I'm done. I'm on the next one. Go around, boom, 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 boom. I'm telling you, I get to 36, 37 on the last tire. It goes out. It's perfect. Nail it every time. Nail it every time.
But see, you got a system. And that's what I'm saying. Everybody just develop a system, because you go to Wawa and you're all clumsy and you don't know what's going on. You see them looking at the machine. How's this work? Where it obviously says start. You hit start. You put it on. Like nobody's prepared. No, because we just live in that get up and go society, right? We live in a get up and go society.
Be prepared, man. Boy Scout motto.
Be prepared, because you're holding up everybody. Please. I get it. And if you want to fill up all 4 tires, right? If you want to fill up all 4 tires, can you do it with a system like Nick's saying? That's all I ask. This is like a public service announcement. Just helping everybody out. Now, Dan, you ever used a compressor a while?
Yes.
You're one of those guys, ain't you?
Well,
you're one of I can see on the look. It wasn't going to say nothing.
Wegmans is first choice across the street. But there's nothing like the free air where you can push 34 and it goes. So, but here's my latest one. I have my own at home, so I generally do not do that.
Yes, me too.
But it's not a great compressor. So my daughter was going back to school, and she was parked in the street. So I was being a nice dad. I warmed up her car and I pull it to the top of the garage, the driveway by the garage, and 3 lights go on. She's like 22. All 3 tires were at 22. You know.
Wow,
and
22.
Like, so
that's low, man.
Well, thank you very much. She doesn't pay attention to her dashboard. So off I go to Wawa, and right away I'm behind three ladies in line. Not the ladies can't work a
Yo, be
compressor.
careful,
No,
bro.
it just
We got a couple
it
ladies out here in the
happened-
audience, and if they go
happened to
lynch
be-
mob style, I'm not
It
helping you.
happened to be 3 ladies.
Okay.
You know,
Just
you know,
saying.
so then I go across the street to Wegmans, and it's out of order. So I go back to Wawa, and I'm waiting.
And now
I'm
you're probably on
waiting.
20 pounds there.
Yeah, and I'm free, and I'm freezing because I was not dressed for this. You know, I went out in like
Like Larry David,
yeah,
Curb Your
pretty much.
Enthusiasm.
Yeah, dun, 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 dun. And I was wearing my slippers, and so bottom line is I got home. You know, I'm freezing, and my daughter's like, "Where were you with my car?" I'm like, "Putting air in your tires." She's driving to West Virginia. You got to have air in your tires. You know.
Gotta have air in your
I
tires.
don't want to get pulled over by a hillbilly somewhere. And
Gotta have air in your tires. I'm just saying, man. Public service announcement. Just listen. Have a system. Understand there's people behind you that also need to get air in their tires.
it is a lot of pressure. No pun intended.
There's a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure. Now, Rick says
pretty good.
BJ's has free air too, with no line, but
It's too
20
far,
deep
too
to say.
far.
See, this is where Rick, I love it. Rick's perfect comment. He says, with at least 20 deep in line to save 10 cents on gas. And here's another one: 10 cents on gas, you get $10. So you it's no. If you're gonna take that extra step, fill the damn tank,
And drive to New Jersey.
right? Nah, dude, I'm not driving to Jersey, man.
Cheap gas, man.
Nah, dude.
Yeah.
Listen.
You don't have to fill up your tank.
when you're
Jones.
visiting-
You have
my
somebody
parent-
fill it up for you.
My parents live in Jersey. I make
Saving
sure I
on
can get
gas
there.
is overrated. It's overrated. It's something you just got to get anyway, right? Just get it. You're going to waste so much more money going to find, I'm going to go wait in line now. Now that's productive time that I've lost. Or I'm going to drive, here, like you say, drive to Jersey.
No,
So I'm going to
I
drive
live in
25 miles.
Jersey.
Yeah, but for me, I would drive 25 miles to save 10 cents.
No. I
Well,
only-
that's not.
only
That's
if you're,
not
if you're visiting
Right?
somebody. If you're visiting somebody. But how many people have the grocery card? Yes. That's
Yeah,
how I get my
but
gas.
you know what? That's just clunky too, because then you got to remember. All right, you got to remember the card. They don't take the phone number.
my
Then
wallet,
if you
Tom.
don't have the card,
my wallet, Tom.
it's just too much, man. I just got listen. It's too much
Keep
to
in your
worry
wallet,
about.
Jigsaw.
Too much to worry about. How about Willie Mays?
Say hey. No.
How about Jason Giambi?
Seriously?
Jason Giambi.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? My
no,
man Rick's
no.
second in.
No, but the guy does have a vowel at the end of his name, one of them.
Yeah. So let's go to the face of the franchise. All right. We like to do this. We did this last week. It was the Chicago Cubs, and this always opens up some topics of conversation. Okay. So we went through the Eagles, and we'll finish on a couple notes of the Eagles, but we do this pretty cool thing where we don't name that player. And we name the team. We tell us who you feel was the face of the franchise. It doesn't mean they have to be an all-star. Doesn't mean they have to be a Hall of Famer. It's what guy is most memorable to you for that franchise. Okay, we'll get Jay's take. Then we're going to get Dave up here back on the microphone, and we'll get his take. Okay, and this week, Jay, I'm going to start right with you.
Okay.
So we can play musical chairs again. Okay. So we're going to go to Houston, little old school. And we're going to go with the Houston Oilers.
Oh, wow.
Okay, we're going to go Houston Oilers.
Okay.
And we're going to say, in Jay, Sports Kill Radio is selling their mind right now. Who is your face? Who is your most memorable player, your face of the Houston Oilers?
There can only be one.
Where's he going?
How about that Earl Campbell?
See, old school, baby.
Tyler Rose.
Earl the Pearl.
Yep.
I like it.
Earl Campbell.
Now, do you have? Was he one of your favorite players growing up that you used to look back on, or is that just right pops in your head because that's who you remember?
That's who I remember. Obviously, I mean, he's one of the guys when I first started watching the NFL. He's one of those name guys that you would see like every Sunday or whatever that they would highlight on NFL game tapes and stuff like, when they would show highlights on the NFL, it would be Earl Campbell. It would also be the his name just went out of my mind. The former head coach,
Bum Phillips.
Bum Phillips. Yep.
Wow.
That's the one. It would either be Earl Campbell or Bum Phillips or Dan Pastorini too.
We're going
You know,
old
there
school,
you go,
man.
Those three would be like the three guys from like the Houston Oilers that I would remember.
I love it
from back in the days. Those three.
I love it.
Yep.
I like that. That's good. All right, Nick, what do you got, buddy?
Yeah, there's first guy that comes to mind for me is Earl Campbell. I mean,
it's hard not to, right?
The team was good, too, Tone. And not for nothing. I mean, the guy ran for his third year in the league. He ran for 2,000 yards, man.
Yeah, stud.
15-game season. So, here's the thing with him. He was just so dynamic for a big guy.
He was.
And he was just always, it's who you saw when you were watching the games. And they were good. And they played the Steelers in the AFC Championship game 2 years in a row. And everybody got to see him then. I'm with Jay. Bum Phillips is a guy you just think about when you think about
Phillips
with that cowboy hat on. He was just an old school hard nosed coach, man. The guy was just nasty.
Wow, that's
and Dan Pastorini, man. I go with the same three as Jay. Those are the guys I remember in the Houston Oilers uniform.
I like it. Dan,
how do you not go Alan Pinkett? No, I'm just kidding. Alan Pinkett won me fantasy once when he was.
Wow, you go back.
He subbed in for Lorenzo White.
You're old.
And won me a fantasy. Now, Earl Campbell, absolutely. Dan Pastorini comes to mind too.
So give me one. Give me
Earl Campbell. It's
that's your
automatic.
guy.
I mean, listen, I remember him winning the Heisman in Texas.
There you go.
So he was a beast. He was an absolute beast. But if you see him now, he's a beat up man.
Yeah.
He is.
Listen, a lot of those players back in the day, they're 100%. They're beat up, man. You see them walking with the cane, walking out, in Canton, man. They're hurting, man. It's a violent sport.
But I encourage you youngsters that didn't get to watch him play, YouTube Earl Campbell. It's amazing to watch him play.
I like it. Dave, Coach Dixon, you're Houston Oilers, man. I know these guys.
Earl's the man,
right? So give
Warren
me somebody.
Moon.
There you go.
Yeah.
Warren Moon throwing
the run and shoot.
The run and shoot.
He had the most beautiful spiral ever.
He did, man.
Beautiful thrower.
Ernest Givens, I think,
was
one of his receivers.
Yes.
They had a nice
Wes
defense.
Hopkins broke his nose.
Haywood Jeffries.
Haywood.
Oh, yeah.
Haywood Jeffries was a nice. He was one of those first big-bodied receivers, man.
Curtis Duncan was he the third?
So that was a great
It might
game.
have been.
That was a great game. House of Pain, they called
House of Pain.
Houston Oilers.
They brought the house. We brought the pain.
Who said it?
Jerome Brown.
Very good.
God rest his soul.
God rest his soul. The Eagles absolutely annihilated the run and shoot that
Monday
day.
Night Football.
Andre Waters and Wes Hopkins were
Dirty Waters.
Seth Joyner's coming up.
Wide receivers.
Dirty Waters. I like it. I like Dirty Waters. How can you not like Dirty Waters? But I have so many in my mind, and I'm a different era than you guys, right? So I watch Earl. You're talking about Earl Campbell, and I got to watch him on back in highlights on YouTube. I never watched him play, so I have to relate to who I watch play.
Sure,
and that's Eddie George.
Yep.
Right. So and again, I know it's like Titans. Oilers. I get it. Right, but
he was drafted by the Oilers.
But it was exactly. So I still think that he lays claim to the Oiler name. But another guy is Bruce Matthews.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. One of the greatest beasts. One of the greatest guards ever.
Yes, and he played forever.
Yeah.
Right.
Him and his brother.
Forever. So when you look at somebody just from the Heat ratio count, Eddie George, absolutely. I Warren Moon, Adam says, yep. And how about we give a little solid to Jerry Glanville?
Yeah.
Right? Back in the day from the Houston team. And how about that good old buddy Ryan? Mm-hmm. Right? Who did he sucker punch on the sideline?
That would have been him.
No, it was Brian McBride.
It was Marty. The offensive coordinator.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Who did he punch on national TV? It was
Kevin Gilbride.
Kevin Gilbride. There it is.
That's a good pull.
That was like a Sunday night football game. Yeah. Good old buddy was like, "Yo, who'd you call? What you call?" Next thing you know, that was great, man. Yeah. Rest in peace, buddy Ryan. Still bringing Philly to Houston.
He was sticking up for his team because the coach was still throwing the ball instead of running it and put his defense on.
I thought he was on the DL. Who brought him back? But again, let us know who your favorite Oiler is, who their favorite face of franchises. You develop a different conversation and give you a little memories down, going back, in your mind and what you grew up with and who you watch play. So let's bring this back for the last few minutes, right back to where we started. Right, we're back to the Eagles, and this is just, we talked about a lot of stuff. Right, we got into free agency. We got into Jonathan Gannon. We talked about Nick Sirianni. We talked about Howie Roseman, right? But I just want to know, our final thoughts about what you do going forward. And I know it's early. I get it, and a lot can happen. I get it. 100%. Our boy Drum checking in. Earl Campbell as well. Everybody like Earl the Pearl, man. Everybody. How can you not, right? How can you not? So I just want to know, and Dave, I'm going to start right with you. You're fresh off the DL again. So I know your thoughts. I know your feelings. But going forward, I want Dave Dixon. Coach Dave is the GM. I always say this of the team because that's the only way you can get this mindset, right? You got to picture yourself with the nice ink pen and the contracts and the big whiteboards in the war room, thinking about what you're going to do, whether it be with your picks, with guys that you have to re-sign, guys that you may cut, your coaching staff, everything in a whole. 2022 Philadelphia Eagles. What are the top things in your mind that they need to go forward to be successful? What would you do?
So I'll go with keeping our first round picks. You're at 15, 16, and 20. Is that correct?
18.
Or 19?
18.
We are at 18?
I believe so.
Okay, so I'm keeping those 3 picks, and I am concentrating on trying to rebuild the defense. I'm going to go at the 15th pick, the number 1 defensive end on the board. The next pick after that, I'm going with the number 1 cornerback on the board. And the next pick after that, I'm going with the number 1 linebacker, irregardless of middle or outside linebacker. They're my 3 picks, and I'll just stick with that to make it simple. But I'm dedicating those picks to the defense.
Now, are you bringing back Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, I have no problem with bringing him back.
Now, do you have an issue with them shopping around for another quarterback?
Yeah, well, are you? So you're on the GM.
Yes.
I'm going to keep Gardner. If I can sign Gardner again, I'm going to keep him. Okay, so I'm going to try to get a quarterback coach in here. You brought it up, Tony. I agree with getting somebody in here. To
somebody
mentor,
to help. Do you know of anybody? Because I don't, honestly.
Well, I mean, I
don't.
Available?
Yeah, is there any names that you could think in your mind, like you could bring out to work with Jalen Hurts?
Jordan Palmer.
I mean, I'll go with the guy that was in here a couple years ago. What's his name? That worked with Wentz, Garfolo or
Mike Garfolo works for the NFL Network.
Who worked with that went to Minnesota?
I know you're talking about.
Oh,
why can't I?
Yeah.
DiFilippo, excuse me.
DiFilippo. There you go.
Flip.
I would entertain that. I would entertain him to come in here and help out. I mean, yes, I'm keeping Jalen Hurts. There's no reason not to. We didn't really give him a fair chance to show what he can do. He's still a baby, in my opinion. He's only 1 year under his belt as a starter, and let's give him another year. Plus, he's cheap, right? Do I think they're going to draft? You asked what I would do, but
yes.
Do I think Howie's going to draft a quarterback? I do. I believe they are going to draft a quarterback.
You think he's going to draft a quarterback?
Yeah, I just think he can't help himself, and that's what he's going to do. I wouldn't waste a draft pick on a quarterback this year. I think that shows Jalen disrespect, in my opinion, and I don't think we should do that. I think we have glaring holes in other areas, and let's fill them first before we move into a quarterback. We're not a quarterback away from winning a championship. Let's build the team other than that right now. Let's see if Jalen can do something that maybe he shows us. He shows us he can develop into a passer and read defenses better and play the game the way it's necessary to win at a championship level. We don't know what he can do. This is what I've said a whole time about Jalen Hurts. He's an awesome football player. I don't know if he's an awesome quarterback. That's my question. He's an awesome teammate. His work ethic is excellent, but we don't know.
No, I listen. I agree. There's nothing wrong with that. I honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. I agree with everything you said, especially with the draft picks, because you need to build this defense, and it's just got to be priority number one, 100%. Before I go to you guys real fast, Alex checking in says you got another good one. Frank Wycheck. There's another good one right there.
Good.
Frank
Tight
Wycheck.
end, right?
Good pull, Al.
Philadelphia native Frank
Yes.
Wycheck.
So is
Archbishop
Eddie
Bryant, shout
George.
out.
He's the one that
The
came back
Miracle.
and beat Buffalo.
Yeah.
With
Yes.
The Music
with
City
that
Miracle.
Yes. Al also says at the beginning of the season, we won't know what we have in Hurts till the end of next
correct.
season. That's what he said.
Agree, Al. Is that Al that said
Yeah,
that?
that's Al.
Good job, Al.
That's Al. And again, I completely agree. Nick, you're the GM. What are you doing this year, man?
I mean, I agree with Dave. You got to go. You got to use these 3 picks to shore up your defense. Get some great young blood down there. I want some guys in Eagle Green that want to kill people. That's what I want to see. I want to see Nakobe Dean, who looked like when he was playing Alabama last week, he looked like he wanted to take people's heads off.
I missed that.
Like I want you. We need to get back to
Yes.
that type of identity on the defensive side of the ball. And Tone, you need to coach. You need to coach on that side, the defensive coordinator on that side of the ball that has that same mentality. What about Brian Flores, man, as a
I love
defensive
it.
coordinator?
Love it.
Brilliant.
I mean, if he doesn't get a job somewhere, you got to be out of your mind.
He got a
not to
raw
talk to
deal,
that guy.
by the
He
way.
did.
Dude.
He got a raw
It's-
deal.
I was shocked over that.
If we did get him, he would only make it a couple years before he became a head coach somewhere else.
Yeah,
But-
that was ridiculous.
I don't understand that.
I don't
That's
understand
so-
it either.
I said it before. Disrespect. That's terrible.
Culley,
Crime.
I think Culley's a disrespect too. In Houston,
But
what,
yeah.
what did you want him to do?
when he
Yeah,
inherited-
that's horrible as well.
Yep.
I think he actually did decent
I do too.
for what he had. No quarterback, no running back, nobody. They had nobody. That was just crazy to me.
They actually did him a favor. To be honest with you,
Yeah,
getting
no,
him
you're
out of
right.
there. But I mean, it doesn't look that way, and I'm sure he doesn't take it that way. But
Yeah, Nick, I completely agree. I would love. I'm a fiery guy. I would love to get a guy in here that could be fine. Like I watch Robert Saleh. I loved him in San Francisco. I watched him on that New York Jets side. How do you not want to play for a guy like that? You're a fan. You're getting passionate. You're getting excited watching him on the sideline. Right? That's the kind of guy I want.
We don't have guys that attack.
We
right
don't.
now.
No.
You know, but we've
don't.
got to get the personnel in there first. I mean, you know, you talk about Singleton. Oh yeah, he led the team in tackling. He's 9-10 yards behind the line of
I
scrimmage.
know.
Everything he
Come on.
doesn't. He's just so passive, man.
Yeah.
He's like, you know, he's just one of those guys that just doesn't want to make a mistake. Let
And he's
somebody get
celebrating
behind him.
too.
I mean, come
They're
on,
down
man.
25. He makes a tackle. He's like he's pumping his iron. Like, bro, relax.
Every athlete does it. It's amazing.
It's so ridiculous. I agree. But Dan, what are you doing, man? Old school.
Well,
Are you going old school? You going?
I'm on board. I'm on board. I don't want to apologize to Dave. You're right. It was number 19, 15, 16, and 19. The only thing I disagree with Dave is I'm not targeting defensive end as the first pick. If Nakobe Dean falls in your lap at 15,
okay,
jump on him. But I do-
100%.
They have to address defensive end. No, but get the best available stud defensive player, and then. But I want defense across the board, and I think we get our wide receiver free agency.
Yep.
And I'm on board. Even if Jonathan Gannon doesn't get hired by someone, which is amazing to me, he's even getting phone calls.
I know.
I would consider, you evaluate your staff and maybe dismiss him if one of these coordinators we discussed earlier becomes available.
that
there's
comes
no-
down to your general manager.
Well,
Here
yeah.
we go.
if Sirianni says I'd like to replace Gannon with Flores, then maybe he'll say okay. But
Well, my favorite defensive coordinator was before Doug Peterson. Schwartz was picked.
Jim
Schwartz was
Schwartz. That's
Oh, yeah.
Dave's
was
buddy.
picked before Doug Peterson. So it's up to the GM
No, I
and
got
the
you.
ownership. If they see Flores as an upgrade and he is available, they can go get him.
well, in that case, we'll agree with Howie, right?
Oh, 100%.
Right. So
That's an upgrade.
no, so we're all on board. Use all 3 picks on the D. Hopefully replace your defensive coordinator, and and we all want Hurts to stay here. Give the kid some support. Give him a chance. He does have deficiencies that need to be worked on, but he's got the moxie that you really like in a quarterback.
No, I completely agree, and I'll just say my final thoughts are the same thing. I want them to find a quarterback's coach to work with Jalen Hurts, because one thing he's shown the ability to do is learn. He's not afraid to study. He's not afraid to work. He won over the locker room because of his work ethic and because of his maturity. He never once blamed everybody else. He never once didn't take accountability for himself and for his play. Okay, and he was playing hurt. They say what you want. The kid was playing hurt. That's why he was in a walking boot after the last game. So I just want it costs you nothing. It's a win-win. There's nothing to lose bringing Jalen back under his last year of a rookie deal. But I'm not going to get mad if they shop around. They need to do their due diligence. I just don't think that they are a quarterback away from winning or competing for a Super Bowl. I just don't think that. So I say, just like I said, just like you guys, I heavy on defense in the draft. I definitely bring in a 1B receiver on this team. I bring in a quarterback whisperer. And we get a whole offseason with a young team and see what happens. And see, like Jay says we're winning the NFC East. So we'll see if Jay's right. I don't know. But we got a whole offseason to decipher that out to see what kind of drama goes on in New York and Washington and even Dallas. So, but nobody got the trivia question. So, Dan, I'm going to throw this up, and I want you to tell everybody. We're still going to give out some prime roof and swag anyway. But let's give everybody that's listening the 3 Major League Baseball players who have both a 35-game hitting streak and 30 home run season in their career. Who are they? What are those 3 guys, Mr. Green?
Well, first of all, I'm embarrassed for our fan base.
Good.
How does no one get Joe DiMaggio?
Wait, no.
56,
somebody did.
right.
Wait, hold on.
56 game
while
hitting
you're
streak.
talking, somebody did. Somebody did
right.
throw in Joe DiMaggio.
All right, then that person is a smart.
I'm sorry. There was a lot of comments coming in, and I did not say, but I scanned gently over. So tell everybody who else it was, so I can.
So it's J-Roll, Joe DiMaggio, and Chase Utley.
Chase Utley. I would have never got
Utley.
that.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, Chase Utley.
Wow, I would have never got
Phillies
that.
on there.
Correct.
Oh, it was our buddy Rick. Rick Laughlin said Joe. He right away. He's like, I said Joe.
Good job.
I got you, Rick.
Good job, Rick.
I got you,
Good
Rick.
job,
I was
Rick.
waiting for your comments about, is this a talk show or is this a soap opera? That's what you usually hit me with the Jigsaw Chronicles. But this is a good trivia question. We got another one for next week. I'll save the other one for next week because that really stumped
everybody. I have to give easier ones. That was an easy one.
Yeah, but there were 2 Philly guys, so you're right.
I thought, and Joe, the second you hear hitting streak, you got to say Joe DiMaggio, right?
I would think.
Jay, you had that, right?
Joe DiMaggio. Jay's still talking about the NFC East over there. So
nobody repeats in the NFC East.
Nobody repeats it. He's all about the NFC East. But listen, this is great. Again, we want to thank Steam Pub for being our host tonight, as always, giving us the hospitality. Check them out, steampub.com, as always. Wonderful, fantastic establishment in Bucks County, in Southampton, right across the railroad tracks from the own train station. Actually have the rails of the bar are made from the train tracks. Who often does that? And the real-time draft beer list, which, again, is phenomenal. You see it on Twitter. You see it on Facebook. They let you know what's left and when a next one is tapped. I mean, how much better can you get from that? And again, very, very, very unique menu. And our buddy Rick says he's going to be there next week. So that's my man. My man Rick will be here next week. I hope to see more of everybody out. But again, like we always say, okay, we're going to end this show. As always, Steam Pub, Heat Ratio Sports. Follow us everywhere on social media. Follow the YouTube page. Hit subscribe. Hit like. Comment. Get at us. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And we will catch you here right here next week.